innocent human being unless it be for murder or for spreading corruption in the land. It is as if he has killed the whole of humanity. And if anyone saves any human being, it is as if he has saved the whole of humanity. This misconception regarding the word jihad, previously it was not there. It was not at the top of the charts. So depending upon how the media, it portrays Islam, these misconceptions arise in the minds of the non-Muslims. The second most common question or misconception that is there in the minds of non-Muslims is that why are most of the Muslims fundamentalists? What is the meaning of the word fundamentalist? Fundamentalist, by definition, means a person who follows the fundamentals of a particular subject. For example, for a person to be a good mathematician, he should know, follow, and strive to practice the fundamentals of maths. Unless he's a fundamentalist in the field of maths, he cannot be a good mathematician. For a person to be a good scientist, he should know, follow, and strive to practice the fundamentals of maths. Unless he's a fundamentalist in the field of maths, he cannot be a good mathematician. For a person to be a good scientist, he should know, follow, and strive to practice the fundamentals of science. Unless he's a fundamentalist in the field of science, he cannot be a good scientist. You cannot paint all fundamentalists with the same brush, that all are good or all are bad. Depending upon which field the person is a fundamentalist, you have to label him accordingly. For example, there is a fundamentalist robber whose profession is to rob. He's a bane for the society. On the other hand, there is a fundamentalist doctor whose profession is to save human lives. He's a boon for the society. As far as I am concerned, I am a fundamentalist Muslim, and I am proud to be a fundamentalist Muslim. Because I know and I strive to practice the fundamentals of Islam, and I know that there is not a single fundamental of Islam which is against humanity as a whole. I challenge any human being to point out a single fundamental of Islam which is against humanity as a whole. There may be some fundamentals which some human beings may think they are against humanity, but the moment you give the logical background, there is not a single fundamental of Islam which is against humanity as a whole. According to the Webster Dictionary, fundamentalist was first used to describe a group of American Protestant Christians who protested against the church. And according to the Oxford Dictionary, fundamentalist is a person who strictly adheres to the ancient doctrine of any religion. And in the revised edition of the Oxford Dictionary, fundamentalist is a person who strictly adheres to the ancient doctrine of any religion, especially Islam. This word, especially Islam, has been added in the revised edition of the Oxford Dictionary. The moment you hear the word fundamentalist, you start thinking of a Muslim. You start thinking of an extremist. I tell the people, I am an extremist. I'm extremely kind, I'm extremely merciful, I'm extremely loving, I'm extremely just. What's wrong in being an extremist? Why are we apologetic? What's wrong in being extremely kind, extremely honest, extremely loving, extremely just? But we should only be an extremist in the right direction. We cannot say that I will be partly honest. When it will benefit me, I will be honest. And when it will not benefit me, I will not be honest. But you only have to be an extremist in the right direction. You cannot be an extremist in the wrong direction. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the glorious Quran, in Surah Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse number 208, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu dukhulu fi silmi kaffa. Enter into, all you who believe, enter into Islam wholeheartedly. You can't say partially, when it will benefit me, I will be honest, I will be just, and when it will not benefit me, I will not be honest, I will not be just. But you have to be an extremist only in the right direction. So here we realize that these misconceptions, they arise in the minds of non-Muslims based upon how the media, it portrays Islam. Depending upon how the media portrays Islam, these misconceptions arise in the minds of the non-Muslims. The third most common question or misconception that is there in the minds of the non-Muslims is that why are most of the Muslims terrorists? What is the meaning of the word terrorist? Terrorist by definition means a person who causes terror. Whenever a robber sees a policeman, he's terrified. So for the robber, the policeman is a terrorist. I'm aware that this word terrorist is more commonly used to terrorize an innocent human being. And many a times, two different labels are given to the same person for the same activity. About 60 years back, before India gained its freedom, there were people who were fighting for the freedom of the country. And these people, these Indians who were fighting for the freedom of the country, by the Britishers and by the British government, they were called as terrorist number one. Whereas, by us common Indians, they were called as freedom fighters, as patriots. Same people, same activity, but two different labels. If we agree with the view of the Britishers and the British government that the Britishers had come to the Britishers had come to rule over India, then you would call these people, these Indians, as terrorists. Whereas, if you agree with the view of the common Indians that the Britishers had